Why I reported Carbon for breaking the rules, which caused me to get removed from the content creator program. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This will be a little bit of a different video because today I'm going to be exposing the corruption of the Fisch moderation team and the content creator program. This will explain a lot of why I was removed from the content creator program. Yes, I have a lot of the pictures and evidence because I figured at some point this video would have to come out. This is going to be a long one, so go ahead and buckle up. To start off with, we're going to just jump right into it. So this all started in around February of 2025, and at that time, Lovestorm Eels were out because of the Valentine's update. And Lovestorm Eels were highly tradable, especially the rare ones, because this is when the fish economy was actually good, so people would trade rare fish for other items. Now, there was a glitch involving these eels, which when you would pop a nuke on the pool, it would go to a whole different island, and it wouldn't pop on the pool. I was trying to get 3 of them, one to keep, one to give my viewers, and one to trade. And when I identified this glitch, I was streaming, so I had all the clips of it. So I went to support, contacted testers, I talked to trials, I talked to regulars, and I talked to a upper level one at the time. They all said that this was a glitch and they're going to be working on it come to the future. And they also told me to contact Carbon to get such eels since it's a glitch and they don't know when it's going to be fixed. Now, after I contacted Carbon, at first he was very much so against actually giving me the fish, but after pushing the issue further, he was actually going to do it. So after spending around 10 to 15 minutes, he finally got a nuke to pop on a little bit of the pool. After that, I asked if I could receive the other 2 once I caught my first one. After this, he refused, and he said it was against his job to do so and to continue trying to do it myself with the limited nukes that I have. Even though it took him around 15 to 20 nukes just to get it to land on it once. At the time, I was friends with another verified member that worked with Devs of Fish. He came in and told Carbon about how he was being rude and inconsiderate to me. Carbon finally calmed down because he joined the game and he was able to see that he was actually a verified member of Roblox. After he calmed down, he was actually a little bit more able to work with, and he told us to contact a developer about this and it's going to go above him. So contact a developer and get it situated, which me and my friend both did. After we contacted devs, they told us that Carbon should be able to give us 2 more eels considering that it's a glitch, and I had evidence of it happening. Carbon still refused of not doing it and just told me to wait for the glitch to be fixed. And at this point, I was tired of fighting about it, so I just quit asking about it. And when Lovestorm Eels were about to leave the game, I was watching the patch notes between every single update because they were out for a few updates. Or, well, a few weekends, I should say. And I finally contacted the testers that I contacted initially about the glitch, and they said that it still was a glitch and it hasn't been fixed yet. And they all still reiterated to contact Carbon about getting the Lovestorm Eels because I had no way of getting them. So I then contacted Carbon and asked if the developer had talked to him about it at all, and he basically had nothing to say about it. But then later on, they further released the update of the Lovestorm Eels being removed from the game, and within them removing, they said that they fixed the glitch where the nuke wouldn't pop on the pool, which you literally cannot get the eels anymore, so obviously it would be fixed. So that was really the big background, but we're going to fast forward to the February of 2026, so about a year later. I was redeeming perks and I was requesting receive a few rods, which I'm pretty sure was Oric Rod and Random Rod, which Oric Rod is from the chests that have a pity now, and then the Random Rod was in the shop where you had to just hope to get it before they actually release that update where it just randomly spawns around the island. And the only reason I was requesting them was because I was having trouble getting these. I talked to other content creators within the Discord if you're able to request rods, and multiple content creators told me that they requested rods before and they were given them and they were able to keep them. So I opened a ticket because I had my perks ready to go ahead and request these rods since they were just small rods. They weren't like big rods like the Fabulous Rod or stuff like that. When I first requested them, Starmish said she was actually going to give me the rods, and I was happy, and I was like, okay, this is actually going to work. After that, she kind of went AFK. Maybe she had something going on. I don't know, but that's okay. Another mod actually came into the ticket and said he would have to contact Carbon to make sure. Carbon came into the ticket. He said him and Maji has never done anything of the sort. They said that the other content creators were lying and is wrong. Another helper even defended me and said that he's seen Maji do it before and he never gave the rods back. And he said that even no ticket was created to get him back. Carbon still refused and said that the mod was wrong and it never happened, and that the other content creators were lying, and that it's not going to happen for me, in which it didn't happen. Within this ticket, Carbon was very rude, starting with saying, "Good God, this is like horrible PTSD from last year," which he immediately brought up the drama from last year that I didn't even start within this ticket. And while in this ticket, he sent a GIF containing a political figure, which is against the rules of the Fisch Discord, which we'll get into all this within the next segment. So to give a little bit of background from the last segment, this was about a month before this all happened. And they actually threatened me with my content creator program because I broke a rule. And apparently under the quote-unquote common sense rule, sending gifts or talking about political figures, deceased people, or religion is in this category. I did not know of this until I was warned for this. I did not say anything about a political figure, and if anybody knows me from the Fisch Discord, I mostly just send gifts. I don't even say anything. Sometimes I conversate. Most of the time I just send gifts, like I'll send like a cat gif or just random gifs in there, or random ones every once in a while. And at this time, I sent a gif of Charlie Kirk and was told by a staff member not to send it. So obviously I followed up with the question why. Short story short, it was a lot of bickering back and forth, and I reread the rules and didn't see it, and they said it falls under that rule. Which the senior mod followed up giving her political opinion, saying Charlie Kirk was a bad man. That's actually getting into more depth of politics, in my opinion, because it's going into her point of view. And I also went back to get this message for the video, but it's actually been deleted. So I don't know if they found out about that and that was kind of covered up, but there's no evidence of it, so you guys can say I'm lying for it, but I know what I've seen. I never understood why I was actually warned for this, so I actually contacted other top moderators for other servers, other owners that are around the same amount of members, like the Fisch Discord, and they all said that, one, it was a hidden rule, and that I was warned unfairly because that was against someone's political beliefs, and if it was with someone's political beliefs, they don't believe I would have been warned. But I further apologized for my actions multiple times because I didn't know that their common sense rule had other guidelines that were hidden. Another member of the Discord actually reached out to me and told me that their story that they had around this kind of same issue. They actually were talking to somebody and they were having a rough time. I'm not know the details of it, but they said that they're going to keep them in their thoughts. And because they said this, they were further muted for 24 hours, and they were warned if they ever spoke of religion again, that they would be permanently banned from the Fisch Discord. In my eyes, that's actually insane because they were just trying to comfort the other person. I also mentioned this to other top server moderators and owners and said that this was just a power trip for mods that didn't agree with their religious beliefs. Also, I made a suggestion to like the Fisch Discord, because I was a high enough level at the time, to add this as a category to the rules. And I was actually DM'd by a trusted member of the Fisch Discord, and he sent me multiple messages actually cussing at me, saying how it was such a dumb idea, it should be common sense that shouldn't be spoke of, and was actually being very rude to me. But I'm not going to say their name, and I'm not going to show any evidence of the DM. But he sent multiple messages, and he was a very trusted member. He does giveaways and stuff like that, and I just couldn't believe somebody that was trusted was just going to give me that much of a hard time just for making a suggestion. Now, with all this being said, that brings us to present day of why I reported Carbon for breaking the rules, which caused me to get removed from the content creator program. As a content creator, you're allowed to receive perks based off how big you are every so often, which is currently every 2 weeks. Within these, you can request private events of any fish like megalodons, krakens, anything that's like a pool, so like witherbloom, stuff like that. You can redeem them, like I said, every 2 weeks. And my first ticket was opened March 8th, which I usually don't like keep track and like, oh, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, I need to do my perks. No, I usually just claim them whenever I need like more bait or there's a private event that I need that I'm struggling to get to spawn or something like that. A week went by and I got no response. So then this is when it becomes the Shamrock event. So I changed my private event to the Lucky Gold Storm because I couldn't find a Lucky Gold Storm to get that Lucky Gold Leviathan. And I changed that on March 15th. And again, a week goes by, no response. So now we're 2 weeks after my initial opening of my ticket. After the update of removing the Lucky, which I didn't need anymore because thank God I finally got it at the very end, Carbon finally is the person to reply in the ticket after 2 weeks, and he says he's going to have to leave it to Maji because it's been removed and they don't know if they can do it whether or not. So then this fast forwards to just a few days ago, April 2nd, 3 weeks after I opened my first ticket, and almost 4 weeks after I opened my first ticket. By the way, when the staff can't do the ticket for like their perk redemptions, so if another 2 weeks goes by and your ticket's still open, they don't make up for it even if it is their fault. They don't. So if they don't do your ticket, you just miss your perks and they just don't care. So then you have to wait another 2 weeks. They don't give double. So you're kind of just screwed. So I further asked in general chat because, like I said, Carbon replied after March 15th, and then I said, okay, if anybody's been doing tickets. Well, some people said Carbon's been doing them, and they said that they've been doing their tickets. But then Carbon replies rude to the comment, bringing up the drama again, which I didn't even bring up at all. And he told me that with my ticket being a limited item, that I was going to have to wait for Maji. And he stated all other tickets are answered within 2 to 3 days by helpers, Maji, or himself. But if you look back at the dates that I just mentioned, it took over 2 weeks just to get someone to respond to my ticket in the first place. So this information is truly false. And in the same quote where he was talking about this, he says, I could just tell you no, but we know how you get when no is said, so we're waiting to see what can be done. Bringing up the drama again, which was very much so unnecessary, in my personal opinion, because I was just asking a general question. When I pointed this out, that it takes 2 to 3 days, he says that nobody likes me on the staff team, such as helpers, mods, him, or Maji. And he says that every time I've dealt with them, that I've given them a hard time, which is truly false because the only person I've ever had problems with is Carbon. I've never had problems with Maji, and there was 2 other helpers and a feedback team member. I'm actually friends with that feedback team member on Roblox, so I know that I didn't cause problems between him. And a lot of the times that I actually receive my perks, I was actually streaming because I usually don't get on to play, rather to get perks. And any other time when I'm getting perks, it's when I'm at work. I'll get on, get my perks, log off. It's simple as that. I've never had a problem like that whatsoever. But if they do dislike me, they're letting their personal opinions and belief get in the way of their job, which if you go to a real job, they wouldn't put up with that. I mean, I just think that they're, like I said, favoritism towards Carbon, and they're letting their personal beliefs get in the way, just like the political beliefs and the religious beliefs in the previous time. So I then went in my ticket, and I said, I don't need the private events anymore. I'll just chalk them, and I'll take obviously just my perks. I don't need the private events. A lot of people do that anyways. I only do the private events when I need something. I couldn't get a wither bloom to spawn, so I needed to get that. And then I needed the lucky gold storm leviathan, but I was lucky. I got it on the very last day. So then Carbon continued to drag everything on, so I finally decided it is time to report Carbon for the rules that he broke. But I wasn't going to do, but I took screenshots of everything so I would have it all. These pictures contained him sending gifs of political figures, 3 Joe Biden gifs, 1 Obama gift within the ticket of mine, and the ladies we got them gift, which I am reaching on that, but there is a deceased person in that gift, and it is a political place. I forget what the exact thing was, but it was about getting rid of some type of terrorist or something like that. I completely forget what it's about, but there is a deceased person in that picture because to the left, the guy was old and he's passed away now. So that is another thing of sending a gif of a deceased person, and you're not supposed to make jokes of deceased people, and there's a gif, which is a meme of a deceased person. Most of these occurred in the content creator Discord, and all the rules from the main Discord applies there as well, if you guys don't know that. And as a content creator director and one of the top content creators for Fisch itself, I feel like he should be setting an example for other members and other content creators. For like me, I got warned for sending that Charlie Kirk gift, but he can send all those gifts. And then other people in the Discord, they talk about religion and stuff like that, and they get warned and muted and threatened to get permanently banned. But Carbon sends gifts of Joe Biden, Obama, and he still doesn't get warned for it. So there's really kind of double standards here in favoritism, if you know what I mean. Especially when he knows the rules and he's supposed to be enforcing these rules, and he doesn't do anything about it, and he continues to break the rules. So obviously there's a form of favoritism here. Also, multiple other content creators have pointed out how it's unfair that Carbon has access to the testing server, but not other content creators do. So when you're a content creator, you cannot become a tester because you would have access to the testing servers, and then you would know about all the stuff that's coming to update, so you can put videos out about it. No other content creator has that permission besides Carbon. I've also talked to other ones about like other content creators, and they've showed their frustration of the favoritism towards Carbon because he's allowed to actually record videos in the QA server. Not a lot of people know about that, but he's actually recording a lot of his videos in the QA server. And I've even have game testers that have told me, because I've asked them, does Carbon record in the QA server? They said yes. As soon as he goes off his live stream, he immediately goes into the QA server and he's recording or doing whatever he needs to, because you'll see him like obtaining stuff. Other content creators, they just think that if Carbon is a content creator, he shouldn't have all the abilities such as being an admin and stuff like that. I mean, I understand if he can be admin and stuff like that, content director, but he should be held up to the same standards. Not being able to record in the QA server is a big one. Not being able to be in the QA server to even have access to the new stuff. As other content creators, they can't even get accepted as a tester when they're a content creator. After reporting Carbon, some time went by, and finally, Carbon himself actually got back with me in my ticket to discuss this. And when he said this, Maji actually reviewed my report, and he gave Carbon the green light to remove me from the content creator program immediately because of the drama. Which, yes, I did break the rules, and I did deserve to be removed from the content creator Discord. But as a content creator, you're supposed to make content and try to make yourself grow. Using the drama from before, I used this to generate funny moments within my streams. I said multiple things about how I dislike Carbon, which is very much so true. I did dislike him because it's obvious. The moderation team favorites him, and his ego is inflated because of his status. Now to the extreme of what I did was purely for content purposes only, which I thought everything was just jokes and guys giving other guys grief for fun. But obviously, others took it differently. Some people have thin skin and can't take jokes, and others have tough skin and they can take jokes from people. Carbon obviously shows what he has. Thin skin. Which I already know what everyone's going to say from watching this video. They're going to say, oh, it's all lies. You meant everything you said. They're all extreme. But only I believe what I've said, and I'm telling you guys the strict truth. But now it's evident that he meant everything he said to be rude about everything he said, all the times he was rude to me, bring up the drama. He meant every little bit of it. I never brought it up in the Discord besides when he brought it up first. During all this quote unquote drama, nobody ever contacted me about this. Not Maji, not Carbon, no mods, no helpers. Nobody told me to tone it down or to stop. It was just purely they were taking it serious, and I wasn't. I mean, nobody contacted me, so how would I know that they were taking it all seriously? Present day, I look back at all this, and it's evident that it shows that he meant every little part of it. After everything, they removed me from the content career program, from that final straw being that I reported a staff member for breaking the rules, which was actually further denied because they actually sent a message in your DMs about if it was accepted or denied, and it actually came back denied. So they taking like my thoughts on what they said that it was denied. Carbon's not going to get punished at all for what he did. He can break the rules and do whatever he wants because he's a content creator. But there's not going to be any punishments made just because there was drama behind it, apparently. After all of this, a lot of my viewers, they keep asking me, am I going to keep playing and supporting Fisch? The answer is yes. For one, every single dev that I ever met, Snow, Holiday, Goth, every single one of them has met me and treated me with the most kindness and utmost respect that a dev could ever give me. And I've had a great time with them. Snow actually joined me in multiple streams. Goth, he's been in my game multiple times as well. Holiday, he actually gave me a rod that I needed. I've only had good experiences with devs. Just because the moderation team is corrupt and it has favorites and doesn't care about small content creators doesn't mean I'm going to stop supporting Fisch. Fisch has been my favorite game on Roblox for almost 2 years now. And to the record, I've honestly probably spent the most money on any game in my life on Fisch. That's including in-game items or in-store products such as the plushies, the trading cards, the action figures. I've spent a ton of money on this game, and I will always do it because I love Fisch, and I would love to support the developers too. I love Fisch, and I always will. I am greatly disappointed in their moderation team and their content creator program, but it is what it is. There's corruption everywhere. You just have to find the person that's protected from it all, which obviously it's Carbon. I know that this video will most likely cause no movement within the moderation system, but I wanted to show everybody what's going on behind the scenes. In my opinion, Carbon should be held to the same standards as other content creators and should be punished for his actions as well for adding more drama and his gifts that he has sent. The moderation team will most likely be out to get me after this video to ban me if I say anything in the Discord, which the first thing I said after I got removed was holy power abuse, and I already got a verbal warning because they said let's keep this drama out of the Discord, which I said okay, I didn't fight it at all. But either way, that's going to be it. So I appreciate everyone coming by and listening to this whole thing. I also want to thank all the game devs for treating me with the most kindness and respect that anybody could ever treat me. And I appreciate all my viewers for coming to watch me play Fisch. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Adios.